And now I'm thrilled to introduce the moderator for the session, my friend Mehmed Babu. Welcome, Mehmed.
Thank you. Thank you, Liane. And a very warm welcome to everyone. I am Mehmed Babu from Mauritius, District 9220. I was a trainer at the Rotary International Training Assembly and also at the Rotary Leadership Training Institute. I am presently the District International Service Chair and a representative of the district on the Council on Legislation. I am passionate about telling the stories of our good work, and I'm thrilled to be joined by two people who share the same passion, Sonia Uribe and Sergio Almeida. Sonia is from Colombia. She is a past district governor and a past Rotary Public Image Coordinator. Sonia, a quick word from you?
Good evening, good night, good morning to everybody. It's a really pleasure to be here. I am Sonia Uribe from Colombia. I am PDG, but my passion is working in Rotary Foundation. I love all the things that we can make with the international partners. Thank you for being this morning or this evening with us.
Thank you, Sonia. We also have our friend Sergio Almeida. Sergio is from Portugal. He is also a past district governor and he is the Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Portugal and Spain. You surely have something to say, Sergio.
Hi, Mehmed. Hi, everyone. It's a wonderful pleasure to be here with all of you. And I really am passionate about people, about being connected with all of you and trying to make this world a better place to live. So for me, it's an honor and it's a pleasure to join and to have the opportunity to share some ideas. And of course, Mehmed's try to do this world a better place for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sure, how privileged we are to have both of you with us here today to share your knowledge and in particular your hands-on experience of service. Participants will surely appreciate the internationality of Rotary. The session today is the story that the Rotary story. Friends, can be anything related to our organization as a whole, from local projects to the polio initiative to funding events. This 5-part series is designed to support you as you cultivate effective projects that will create a sustainable impact in your community and around the world. These webinars offer tools and strategies to help you plan, find resources, and implement and evaluate your projects. As you can see on the screen, the first series, which is today, the first part of the series is today, promoting projects. The second one is planning a project. The third one is finding project partners and resources. The fourth one will be measuring results. And the fifth one will be expanding reach, partner with youth in service. And I invite everyone to please register yourself for the other 4 sessions. Throughout this conversation, we hope to help you understand the connection between telling a good story and increasing Rotary's visibility. Secondly, we hope to help you to identify effective tactics to promote your projects. And thirdly, to use the different tools to tell your story at every stage of the project. We all know that Rotary is a membership organization. From a research that has been done, we know the 2 reasons why people join Rotary. Firstly, to have relationships, and secondly, to have the opportunities to serve, specifically for local projects. When we tell our story effectively, Rotary is more visible and our members have more resources to help the communities to flourish. So let us jump in. Sonia, what is the connection between good storytelling and increasing Rotary's visibility, especially when it comes to service? Can you give us your views, please?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Like I tell you, good story increase Rotary visibility. The most important thing is to keep in mind that the Rotarian should always narrate what we do, how we do it, where do it. We must share our impact in Rotary because as a Rotarians, we are able to create a big change through each club, each district, each zone, also in Rotary International as whole. And so every day we should feel more proud of being Rotary members, of belonging to an active organization to change life. Stories must start from the communities and let people know that behind every project and every impact, there is a group of human beings who give their time, effort, and financial resource to change lives of that community. Storytelling is about Rotary members sharing friendship stories and experience that tell the world who are the Rotarians, what we do, and the impact of transformation we are making in the whole world. Every day, we are sure that we must make a strong impact to increase Rotary visibility, and we can do that through our action, through our story into world, and how we change many lives through unity. Now I am going to talk you through two great projects that we have carried out. One is in the drinking water supply area and is in Colombia, in the north part of Colombia, the most poor population. And the other project is people with disabilities, education program for Amor de Foundation with children and young people with the spina bifida. We must listen me about these two projects during the day, because during this opportunity, we are going to make storytelling about the project. Where would they came from, and where is the change we make for these two projects? Thank you, Mehmet.
Thank you, Sonia. Fascinating story. Indeed, friends, you know that a small study carried out during the pandemic time has shown that clubs that have visibility have flourished in their community. Sergio, do you reckon that visibility is a core factor?
Indeed, Mehmet, the connection between a good storytelling and increasing Rotary's visibility is it's very strong. First, because storytelling connects people. Storytelling connects also brains. There is a study developed by Professor Yuri Asen from the Princeton University, and he measured the brain activity between the storyteller and the listener. And he discovered that after a few seconds, the brain activity of the listener is very, very equal to the storyteller. So scientifically, we can prove that when we tell a story, when we use facts, but with a narrative, with a story, we connect more with people. We connect more with people because we share emotions, we share life. And since the beginning of times, we share stories. We share stories in our village. We share stories at home. When I said to my young kid, Antonio, let me tell you a story. This is the only time he can stop the PlayStation game and listen to me. Well, sometimes. So storytelling is very important to engage, to involve, to connect with people inside the club and outside our clubs, inside Rotary, outside Rotary. Let me share a story with you. The story of my club, Rotary Club de Arouca, Portugal. Arouca is a wonderful village in the north of Portugal. My club was dealing with some membership, low membership reality. This was like 15 years ago. And in the middle of all the ideas and projects, there was one project we developed helping a young kid at the time, George, to have a home. He has special needs. He has a very difficult situation, health situation, and our club started this project. What happened is that all the fellows, all the friends from the club get involved in this project. Also, the community and the people around us started to understand what we were doing in our community. You know, we should help people around the world, but we don't never forget people who are next to us. So this storytelling about the project of George started to engage the community. The community recognized the work of our club. The community recognized that Rotarians were people of action, not people of talking. So this was a very change, a tremendous change in our club. There is an after and a before George project. After we started to have this visibility, we have 18 months to deliver and hand over the key of the house. It was a very, very important moment. And you know, since that time, after this project, our club doubled membership. Our club is recognized, and Rotary is relevant because the community understood what we were doing. We don't only put our hands on. During this project, we share each stage, we involve the people, and we really share what we were doing. This was a good example, Mohamed, and this was a very unique opportunity also to know George, because he's a special human being. He and his family touched all of us in our club. And when we give to others, we always receive in double.
Thank you, Sergio, to share with us how your club has been able to connect with the external world. It is a fact that we members of our clubs, we think that everybody knows of the good we do. But no, this is not the case. We need to tell the world that we are doing this. What we are doing will enhance our visibility. We need to tell our stories. It is critical. Very often in service, people think about telling their stories after a project is completed. But I think there are benefits to tell the story of a project at every stage, from discovery of a need through to measurement. Here, friends, we have a short video from a Rotary Public Image Coordinator, whose name is Philip Flint. Philip was a Rotary Youth Exchange student before he became a member of the Rotaract Club in Denmark. And he is now the first Rotaractor to be a Rotary Public Image Coordinator. As a freelance photographer, Philip tells stories of people and businesses through visual media, photos, videos, graphics, and live video production. Let's hear his thoughts about why we should embrace sharing our stories at every stage of a project. Lian, please.
Why is good storytelling important when promoting projects? And what is good storytelling when promoting projects? We've all seen the photos of a group of Rotary members shaking hands with a project leader and handing over a big check. While that may have a place internally to inspire fellow members to work on service projects, it does not tell an interesting story to the public. When we promote our projects, we show who we are as an organization and as a brand. That is why we need to tell the story of the project when we're promoting projects, through the written word, visual, and audio media. We need to make sure that the story is interesting and creates value to the audience, the people we want to share the story with. And it is critical to focus on storytelling in every stage of the project, not just the outcome after the project is done. Like in fairy tales, there's always a beginning, a middle, and an end. So why not start in the beginning by telling the story about how the project came to be and what is needed in the community, why you're solving a problem. And always back it up with photos and video that show the story you're telling. And while the project is underway, let's say you're building a clean water facility at a school, show the process of planning and building the facility and explain what is going on in the project in the moment you're showing. When the facility is done, tell the story of how the kids at the school now can get clean water. In other words, the impact that the project makes in the community. And show photos and videos of the kids getting water from the facility. Tell the stories and show the images of action. That is what creates value to the audience, not the aforementioned handshaking. When we tell impactful, interesting, and compelling stories, we help increase Rotary's visibility, and we strengthen our brand as an organization of problem solvers united to take action and create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Thank you.
So friends, this is the vision of Rotary. Don't leave promotion until a project is finished. Sergio, storytelling is critical. Do you agree that we should inform the progress of our projects, of our service projects at every stage? Sergio?
Completely, Mehmet. Yes. I was listening to the wonderful video, Philip, and it's very important. You know, in all other organizations, on the majority of the organizations, we have a lack of feedback. We do things, but majority of the time we don't talk about them. In human resources, there is an expression, a quote that says, you must walk the talk. You should do what you say that you are doing. I believe Rotary is the reverse, like you should talk the walk, because we walk a lot, we do a lot, but we don't talk about it majority of the times. I know that in the past we were most focused to doing, not to sharing, but as Philip told us, we need to share with people. And if we can give feedback about the projects, if we can share the stages, this storytelling help us first to motivate inside of the club the fellows. And in second, we can engage new people, new fellows, new partners to the projects. And let me tell you a short story about it. This photo that I shared here was taken in Huila, in Angola, in Africa. And when I went to Luanda, I visited the club, and in one of the meetings, they shared a story about the project, Melika project, to help young children to have access to learning and to school. And they were already in the project, they were already working with this. But when I listened to this story in the meeting of the club, I really get inspired to join them. So the club and the partners started to develop a lot of work, and we started to fundraising money and a lot of all the help you could fund. And this is started with me. It started with a story, with an example. When we share with people, we inspire them. We can connect with them. It's almost like an invitation to join us. And the world needs more than ever that Rotary could share these good stories, because we have a lot of bad stories right now in the world. So we must share our good stories. This is, for me, one of the most beautiful moments I have in Rotary, to help this community, these young children, help them to smile again. It makes me feel, that also the why, our mission, it's really what drives us to moving forward. And this, what you see here, and the last picture of Maria smiling, is all of this was possible because the club shared the project. The club shared the story of these kids, these girls, these young children, and they can get more help from other fellows and also from outside of Rotary. This is also important to open the door to the good people that could join us, because they understand what you are doing, and there are a lot of good people out there that want to change the world to a better place.
Thank you, Sergio. Fascinating story. Sonia, so we should tell our stories at the beginning, in the middle, not necessarily wait until the end. Do you subscribe to this practice in your zone, in your district, Sonia?
Yes, of course. Storytelling is a way to tell experience story, like Sergio told us. A story of the community, change for better lives. The story at the best says opportunity to show what the Rotarian doing. Real stories are the show of something about the community that is impact. Real story with testimony told mean that we make sure the audience keep this story forever in the memories. That is the most important thing. We need a story to touch our hearts, may keep them forever in the memories, and that would like to part of them. That is the reason I want to share some story in this moment. In each story, you have to tell what are the needs of the community, what situation do they live, and what could we as a Rotarian can do to improve their condition. For example, in the project of indigenous family in the north of Colombia, every day the mothers have to work 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon to have walk, to pick some water. That is the real situation, which is not drinkable water, but it's the only way they can access to some water. They do it every day with the small kids because they need them to carry more water for all the family. And the situation is, in the other hand, I tell you, I am going to talk about 2 projects in the education for the children with the spina bifida was so difficult because almost all of them have to study from the cell phone. Can you imagine that? Mathematics, all the classes by the cell phone, making their academic process difficult. Due to their disability, they have to miss a lot of classes, and they have a long period of the hospitalization. Therefore, a computer will significantly change for them. The accessibility to the connection is necessary because the family doesn't have money to pay. So they study by self, they don't have computer, they don't have connection.
Thank you, Sonia. We can feel that these projects have been accomplished with the heart. It is thus imperative, friends, that we communicate on the progress of our service projects. But yet, don't forget our four-way test. Always speak the truth. Very important. And also we have to ensure that the stories are well structured and consist of various elements. What are the elements of a well-told story? To tell a good story, it must be a well-done project. One of the things I think of as a good story is one that demonstrates impact. And you know very well that impact goes beyond a smile, beyond a thank you. Sonia, with your vast experience,
Of
you
course.
who is very passionate about service projects in Rotary,
Yes,
what are these
today,
elements? Can you share with us?
yes, today we are talking about two different kind of projects, but the most important is the stage that we have to have with each project. Each stage is fundamental in the development of the project. Each stage must narrative carefully. The evaluation is fundamental and it must to be very clear. This is the beginning because we have to know the needs of the community, analyze them. Because from the next stage, we are going to talk about the story. We must create alliance with the benefit community. Of course, with the international partners, they are very important for us. With some stockholder in the community and with the local partner, we have to create the stories for all of them and to make the visibility of the community change step by step. And also, I continue with the story because I want all of you see all this. Before continuing this, I want everybody put attention in something that is very important. I am going to suggest something that we have to have in all our activity, the storytelling, videos, a PowerPoint presentation. We have to have the authorization of the parents of the kids to use a picture like this. But when I take this picture, I see these kids are asking me with the eyes, we need your help. We need your hands to work here because we want to change our quality of life. And here we can see this small girl with their innocence. They know they have a big responsibility in the community, carrying the water for them and for the whole family. This is a very big responsibility for them. But Rotarian should visit the community to talk with them, verify the needs, and tell about the objective of the project, while being carefully. Please don't to promise anything to them until make it happen. Don't give false expectations for the community. It's very delicate. Ask them to take an active role in the project, because that is how they take care of it. And value is much more. We have to involve all the community to work together, to value the project. Tell them to everything possible will be done, carry out of the project.
Thank you, Sonia. Sergio, what are, according to you, the elements of a good story with clear impacts? Can you share with us?
Of course, and thank you, Mehmet, for the question. I believe that the first element, the most important element, is that story should be relevant. It's not only how we tell the story and all this important structure that Sonia shared about the storytelling, it's fundamental. But I also believe that we should take this first element to be relevant story, important story. Of course, our story also should share our values, should be connected to our vision, and also should have the elements of inside and outside vision. When you tell a story to inside of the club, to inside Rotary, we can do it one way. When we are sharing our story to outside of Rotary, we should do it in a different way. Because people who are not Rotarians don't understand some of our words, some of the things we are doing, how we do it. So this is, I think, also two elements to consider: inside Rotary, outside Rotary. Also important to know that we have the way we do, the way we share the stories are important. And today we have digital and other ways to do it, but at the end, it all, in my opinion, it all comes to to be relevant story and to share our purpose, the why. Why are we doing this? So I think this can connect very well with the opinion of Sonia and help all of us to share more elements and relevant elements in a well-told story. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergio. It is clear that at the very outset, our expectation and objective should be made very clear so as to communicate effectively. This brings us to the tools. In this digital world, as you said, Sergio, there are no shortages of tools to help us to tell our stories. What are some of your favorites, and how do you recommend people to use them? How to use them so as to reach different audiences? Can you share with us, Sergio, your views on that?
Yeah, of course. And I think one of my favorites and the first tool we all should use, it's Rotary Brand Center. We have a lot of resources in there. You know, a few days ago, a fellow friend of mine and a fellow Rotarian asked me if I can help giving some tips, finding some images because I am RPIC, so I could have these with me. And then I asked him, have you ever went to the brand center? You should go there. And after we went there, say, wow, there's a lot of information. I didn't know that. I've never been there. So I think this is the first we need to explore. Rotary has a lot of good and strategic and relevant elements that we can use. So I think this tool is the main tool. Then, of course, we can have all the digital tools. We have Facebook and social network, the websites, the letters we can send, the newsletters to our clubs, to our fellows. Just be aware that in our days, we have a lot of information. If our information, if our stories if they weren't relevant, people will not open the email or read the story. You know, that's not. Sometimes we share a lot, we do a lot of noise, but this is not, I believe, the way we can touch people. Be relevant. Use the right way to do it. Just to finish, Mehmet, also don't forget, we Rotarians, we are a tool because we can deliver the message. We can take our example. We can share our own stories. We live the stories. We have that experience. More than any other tool, we Rotarians should speak out loud, should share what we are doing, because the world needs trust. The world needs to trust someone. You know, It's a crazy world out there. We need to trust institutions. We need to trust people. And we Rotarians, we are trustful people. This is the key word, trust. So don't forget, all of you, all of us, we also are a wonderful tool to share our stories.
Very well said, Sergio. Thank you. It's a fact that the Rotary Brand Center is a tremendous resource. Sonia, any other tools you could suggest that we could use to tell our stories?
Of course, I want to suggest two very important things too. The DISC, this International Service Chair, inside each district, they have a lot of international contact. Also, the project fair are really good way to make. These two stories that I want to end in this moment came, both of them, from a project fair. We must tell all the goals that we are looking for the community. We are showing the result of touch the hair and move people to want the change. Let's go to see these two stories. They are simple. For example, here you can see Kelly Vanessa. She's 60 years old with the spina bifida, and also she has degeneration muscular atrophy. And today, thanks to Rotary, thanks for the international partner and the local partner, Kelly Vanessa has the computer. She stopped to study by the cell phone and she began to study by the computer. She has a lot of problems with the mobilization, so she's studying a virtual way. Now, Kelly Vanessa is the best student from his class. Thank you, Rotary, because they changed the opportunity to Kelly and Vanessa to learn. And let's go to see the end of the other story. When we arrived for the Indian community in the poorest region of Colombia, one lady said to us, to Alberto and me, like a past governor, "You are the gods to arrive in our community." And I say, "Oh my God, the gods?" And they say, "Yes, because the politicals always came here and promise a lot of things. And you never promise, but you bring us the company, you join us, and we are no longer poor because you give us water. We are no longer have to walk in the morning, in the afternoon to pick up water. Now our kids are going to the school. Now, for first time in our life, we are able to strain to clean water." These were the words of the community when we stopped that project. And they continue talking to us, and they was so special, and they say, "Today, we want to say thank you to the Rotarians because we have water, and we leave our poverty behind. Today, we can say we are a rich community because we have water." They say that, and believe me, I feel so surprised. One important point, remember, Rotarians, always we have to give the brand in the project. Put Rotary brand in all the projects because the community always remember us. They continue talking about this project because it's so beautiful. They say, "Believe me, lady, we are not poor because we have water. We leave our poverty behind. Our animals have water to drink right now. You teach us how to garden at home. We have food to eat. Thanks, Rotarian, for blessing us. Do you think this is a marvelous history? We have to share this history. We change life of the community." And for finish, sharing the results, showing the change that our role in Rotary we are making to make visible Rotarian work. We attach not only members when we change the community. In the next slide, we are going to see the both community happy because our project bring hope to them. Our project give better quality of them. This is important. The Rotarian have to be the inspiration for the community. Rotarian have to change the life of the community, but we have to tell the story since the beginning, during the development, until the end, because everybody, no Rotarian community, the news, everybody have to know what is the impact of the Rotarian. We change life.
Thank you, Sonia. So, friends, we have to ensure that we choose the appropriate tools so as to reach our audience. Don't forget the Rotary Brand Center, the Rotary's voice and visual identity guidelines, which can help you to frame your stories consistently. And as mentioned by Sonia, don't forget also the International Service Chair, who manages the district resource network of experts in another good source to find partners and mentors who can connect you to other districts and organizations. As a matter of fact, this will be dealt with in webinars 2 and 3. So now we've come to questions. Diane, can you?
Yes.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing your stories, and Mamed for facilitating the discussion. We've gotten some great questions throughout this webinar, and we're going to see how many we can get through. The first question is really about finding partners and funding. And Sonia, I'm wondering if you can share your thoughts on that.
Of course, like I tell you, the most important is to have all the international partners begin to do with the project there, with the showcase, because Rotary is great in international relations, but we have to have the opportunity to talk the door of them. Please talk the doors, but before asking for money, you have to show the project, the needs of the community, involve the international partner to get love in the project. That is very important. When the international partner get love of the project, everything is going to be easy because they are going to look for more partners for finish the project. I have the experience with Caroline Johnson. She was marvelous, looking for more and more international people who want to make us the project real. But please, the international and the sponsor, local, they need to know how is the project development. So this is the importance of the storytelling. Every time you have to tell the advance of the project.
Sergio, I think your project went about funding and partners a little bit differently. Can you share some about that?
Yes, Leanne. Yes, and of course we have Rotary International, we have a Rotary Foundation, and inside of Rotary we have a lot of solutions. In our project that I shared with you in the beginning, we made a house without money. That for me was also an amazing example that if we have a strong why, a purpose, a mission, then and if we can share it with the community, we can do a lot of work. So when we discovered that the house of that family was completely destroyed, also they have problems, health problems because of the water inside of the house and a lot of things. And we started to share this with the companies, with the institutional local partners, with individuals, and we were able to have volunteers working Saturdays and Sundays, building the house. We talk with some companies that they have the materials to the house, and they say, okay, we don't have the last collection, but if you want, we have new materials, but the last years, so they say, if you want, you can take this. This is our contribution. Everybody in the club was working to get fundraising, to get funds, to get people to work. So all the meetings get much more interesting, because we were always saying, Sergio, have you already talked with the guy from the door material or the windows, or have you meet with the architect? So this was for us also something new, and we made this project without with the community. In the end, we have recognizing to all of them, and it was amazing to see people crying, because they all contribute to George House. So it's other way to do things. I believe they can be and can match together.
Thank you so much. And we have a comment here from John Michael Reyes. They say, for us, we had a very good partnership with our sister clubs, local businesses, and support from our members. So sounds like they really took the local approach. Mamed, you love talking about impact, which is something we should all be keeping in mind. What is the impact of stories and well-told stories?
Thank you, Liane. Obviously, the whole philosophy of sharing your story is to have an impact. The impact, firstly, is to have the recognition for Rotary and the good that we do in our local community, the changes that we bring around in our community is very important. And secondly, as mentioned by Sergio, that by doing our projects, we build trust. And by building trust, we add value. We add value to our organization. We reach out to the people. We show to the people that we are people of actions. We show to the people that Rotarians are leaders. We can reach out to areas that the authorities cannot reach, because our decision-making process is much lighter, and we are surrounded by experts. You know, in Rotary, we have so much expertise, and we have to tap on this expertise. By using our own resources, we can come up with solutions, practical solutions, at no cost sometimes. And this is where we can bring the changes. It is a question of defining our objectives and how do we go about to implement our projects. Thank you, Liane.
Thank you so much. So this question was asked in a lot of different ways, but I'm just going to ask it very simply, which is, where do we tell our stories? Is social media the best way? Do we approach radio, television stations? Is it one person to another? What have been some of the most maybe effective ways you've told your stories you can share with the people here? And maybe Sergio, can you jump in on this?
Okay, thank you, Liane. I personally enjoy being in person with other person, but we cannot exclude the digital, and all of them are very relevant. And if we have a good partner, if we have, imagine if we have a radio, a local radio, or a national radio, or the television, or the newspaper, if they can also share our stories, this could be very interesting. It's important also to understand who is the public and what is the meaning for them of our story, you know, because sharing, just by sharing, I believe it can generate noise, but if we put all of these stages together, and if we go to the people who want to connect, if we use the best way to do it, I believe all of them can be relevant. And I enjoy a lot the young people when we go to them and we touch them. We touch all the family, you know, when they come to Rylas, when they hear our stories, they are very powerful. influencers at home. So just share it and think always what impact I want to generate. Is that the best way to do it? And who is my public? Who is the person or the persons that are in the other side listening our stories?
Sonia or Mehmed, do you have other thoughts on this?
Yes, Leanne, I would like probably to point out that the outcomes of sharing our stories, at the end of the day, we shouldn't forget that we reach out to the people, and it's an opportunity to increase our membership. When people are convinced that Rotarians are doing good, there are people out there who are willing to serve. And these people, they are looking for these opportunities. So by sharing our stories, it's an opportunity to reach out to these people. And secondly, by doing so, we reach out to people who are volunteers as donors. Don't forget that Rotary depends very much on donation. And we reach out to these people. And it is important that by sharing our stories, by being passionate about our service projects, these people will be convinced as to the seriousness of Rotarians. And for sure, it can influence our donation in terms of pecuniary measures. And obviously, Liane, if you allow me, probably it would be good to have from our participants a list to hear from them one action that they will take as a result of this webinar. Even though if we don't have time, they can always submit it and we can share it with them at the end by email.
Yeah, I think that's great. Sonia, you had something to say, so let's get your perspective. And all of you, tell us what action you're going to take as part of this webinar, and I'll read some of them. But Sonia, go ahead, please.
Yes, my message is something so really clear. Please make a short stories. You have to go direct for the hearts and keep in the memories. Because if we make a long story, the people can't remember. We have to make an impact story. Remember, we need the authorization of the parents. That is very important for the stories. And also, you can publish in all the mediums. For example, my Rotary Club in the pandemic, we grow up 7 members for the web page, because through the web page, we put small stories about our work. So the people can see what the Rotarians are doing. They want to involve in Rotary. And if they don't involve in Rotary, they can give money for our project. Please use the mediums, but don't put more picture of us looking the camera. We need people of action. We need a picture with people of action, because the Rotarians are always action. Remember that.
Thank you. And we've gotten some really good actions people are going to take. Someone said they're going to start documenting each stage of the projects. They say they usually only share results, but documenting every stage. So that's a wonderful action. Somebody's going to visit the brand center and start thinking about how they can use that to tell better stories. Let's see, what else? Oh, someone's going to include this in their district officer training. So that's awesome. Reach out to us if you need any support with that. I will sharpen my own stories. I love that. Sharpen your stories, as Sonia was saying, right? Like, get to the point, capture the heart. And then Sergio, get those brain waves, connect with that person is so important. It really, I think that's what makes a good, memorable story. So Mehmed, I'm going to turn it back over to close us out.
Thank you, Liane. I should also mention probably the opportunity to use another tool which is available on our website, on the RI website, which is the Rotary Showcase, to tell the outside world of our stories, and at the same time probably to ask for assistance. It may be technical or financial. If clubs are looking for assistance, the Rotary Showcase is a tool. So friends, thank you all for your questions. Surely we don't have time to cater for all your questions, but I can reassure you that we will submit your answers by email. As we wrap up, I would like to thank our panelists, Sonia and Sergio, and Liane and the members of staff of Rotary International, not to forget our interpreters. A big thank you. You've been awesome this afternoon, this evening, this morning, today. And I do sincerely hope that this webinar has enlightened you all about storytelling. Let me just remind you that there are 4 sessions that are coming up. Please do register yourself for these sessions. Thank you all to be present. Wish you well and have a good day or evening.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.